But Akazuri, you're supposed to watch every anime of the season. Fuck you. Do you know how long it takes me to make just one of these half-hour monstrosities? Here's a quick breakdown. With nearly 4 back-to-back seasons, we were due for a not-so-banger anime season. And since I don't have a creative bone in my body, here's what I'm actually watching, I guess. My Feet Up Darling, My Dress Up Darling is this season's flagship project from Cloverworks, newcomers to the fine art of turning your animation studio into a sweatshop. Wakana Gojo is a student adept at the art of doll making, a hobby he hides from others. And I can get it, I also hide my dolls from other people, but to be fair, his skills are far more in traditional Hina dolls. One day when class heartthrob Marin Kitagawa catches him with his whole-ass needle and bobbin out, she reveals her own secret vice, cosplay, of which she's pretty much dog water at doing herself. So of course they team up and sweet Jesus! Together they learn about the art Holy Miyazaki! And slowly but surely, love begins to bloom.
Cthulhu live with Taganaga Flagon!
What are they putting in the water? Let's get the obvious out of the way. My Dress Up Darling is really horny. More so than even the manga, to the point where stellar key talent has been brought in just to animate jiggle physics, such as Tomoki Yoshikawa, who is responsible for some of the best action in last year's Wonder Egg Priority. And those facts have likely split you into one of two groups. Those of you that have already watched every episode, bought every volume, screenshotted every frame, obtained every figure, hung up every wall scroll, and minted every NFT, and therefore I assume needs no further convincing. Then there are those of you asking, why would I watch this when porn exists? Besides being a beautifully animated slice of life, giving a technically accurate insight into the world of cosplay and the underlying craftsmanship involved, My Dress Up Darling is an engaging and heartfelt romance comedy about the coming together of two opposites. The fan service is undeniably excessive, and there's a suspicious amount of detail in the feet that makes me wonder if Dan Schneider is working on it as a key animator, but I promise it really does serve a purpose. Marin's bubbly, extroverted, borderline exhibitionist personality is meant to foil Gojo's shy, nothing like Jujutsu Kaisen Gojo's personality, and the two characters wonderfully bounce off of each other that makes even their most mundane interactions captivating. Gojo's embarrassment at her physical forwardness is mirrored in his unwillingness to share his talents with others. And coming from a manga reader, Gojo's growing feelings toward Marin comes from his desire to master his craft, and it's refreshing to see a romance anime where characters have motivations outside of just laying the pipe. You can't always have a one-track mind in relationships because it takes time for feelings to develop. Never mind. If Dress Up Darling celebrated the impossible dream of a hot cosplay girl undressing herself in front of you, Studio Dane's Sasaki and Miyano lets you indulge in the fantasy that you are, in fact, going to be able to tell your crush about your favorite manga until they fall for you.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
The anime starts when the otaku Miyano watches helplessly as his friend falls victim to a schoolyard fight until the delinquent Sasaki arrives to lay down the smoke. Sasaki becomes fascinated with Miyano, and in an effort to get closer, develops a keen interest in his manga hobby. Okay, I'll address the 6-foot orange giant-handed elephant in the room. The series is boys love, and I get it. I'm a good old-fashioned country-grown straight cis male, and my analytics say most of you are too, but are you really going to let something as small as two beautiful men staring longingly into each other's eyes, but never kissing because of Japanese broadcast standards, stop you from watching a romance whose writing stands among the best heterosexual Christian cartoons out there? I tend to avoid a lot of pure romance series simply because the lack of content beyond the will she won't she shenanigans can cause these anime to drag on much longer than my stunted attention span will allow. But Sasaki and Miyano has a much more natural progression of these two characters' relationship, with each story beat following a mostly casual interaction that most not anime people would actually have. The animation is nothing to write home about. I wouldn't expect something like this to get the Horimiya treatment, but the designs are sharp and the colors are vibrant enough to hold your attention long enough for the far more impressive soundtrack to take over. Music director Kaneshibui doesn't have a resume the size of Sasaki's massive hands, but often when watching, I couldn't help but think, damn, that song would be a banger in a YouTube video. It really helps make the pair's whimsical conversation seem far more meaningful and impactful. There's a scene at the end of episode 2 where Sasaki is lying in bed contemplating a Valentine's Day gift, wondering if it's finally time to take the plunge. And normally this would be the normal post-credit scene that I would just skip over so I could pretend I have watched the entire thing for clout, but the swelling piano and violin really elevated the scene to one that built anticipation and tension rather than a cold, bland ending. I can almost predict my retention graph already. A sharp dip in this section as most of you safeguard your masculinities, as if I tried to drop an advertisement for NordVPN, protect your identity and IP address. Okay, just kidding, I'm not cool enough for that yet. No, seriously guys, hit me up. That new One Piece box set is looking pretty fresh. Give Sasaki and Miyano a try. It's a simply wholesome, positive experience. Much like our next anime, Akebi Sailor Uniform, a slice of life anime about Akebi who wants nothing more than hello? Hey, anime, focus. Focus. About Akebi, who wants nothing more than to wear a sailor uniform to school and make 100. What? Something on the floor I need to see? Hello? Hello, anime, hello? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Nothing more than to wear a sailor uniform to school and make 100 friends, and really, that's okay, come on! The scenes in My Dress Up Darling were a little strange, but I'm starting to think that something might be going on here at Cloverworks. No, seriously, this is editing Akazura, and I like to use the Sakagaboru wiki page to find cool scenes and animators to feature in my videos. And like, check this out. Check and look at this one. Okay, that's interesting. We look at the next one. Oh, I think I'm starting to see a theme here. What about this one right here? Oh, okay, yep, all right, there it is. If you're willing to get past that little barrier to entry, Akebi's sailor uniform is a rather charming slice of life series coming from someone who wants to throw himself off a bridge when he's made to sit through cute girls doing cute things. Surprisingly, for an anime that is about little more than the main character existing, the striking visuals make typical slice of life nonsense that would normally drag on feel so much more dynamic and inject a kind of whimsy that would make even the most cold-hearted among you interested. Director of animation Megumi Kiyono has worked on everything from Monogatari to Kill la Kill and has done a bang-up job making me give a shit about these girls. Akebi isn't the typical empty-headed ditz that these type of series like to shove in your face, but has a unique personality that makes the scenes engaging despite being about basically nothing. Her character bounces off the rest of the cast effortlessly, and while there isn't a particular amount of depth to any of them, the anime puts a ridiculous amount of effort into even mundane situations like Akebi borrowing lip gloss. And Kano Takawa's soundtrack makes you feel triumphant at her merely proclaiming her happiness and making friends.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
You all know that I would never recommend this type of shit unless I had a really good reason to, and I'm pretty confident that Akebi's sailor uniform has a unique approach to the brainless anime girls doing jack all for 23 minutes genre. But I still, god damn it, I told you to knock it off. Okay, so what else do we have here? All right, seems like a nice slug. Sabikui Bisco is the brainchild of light novel author Shinji Kokubo, although it's less of a brainchild and more of a cursed demon spawn conceived in a ritual composing of a cocktail of testosterone and LSD. Bisco takes place in modern day. Never mind. Bisco takes place in a post-apocalyptic Earth where everyone is scared shitless of giant mushrooms whose spores are supposedly rusting humans from the inside out, and the secret police that ride on iguanas, by the way, because why not, hunt down those who traffic mushrooms as enemies of the state. Speaking of enemies of the state, our main character Bisco is the Ted Kaczynski of shroom lovers, using his magic bow to spawn them everywhere, believing they actually cure the rust. Still with me? Sabikui Bisco is really, really fucking weird, but that's exactly what makes it bang so hard. The entire world is pure imagination. You have giant crabs fighting hippos with turrets and snail planes being brought down with mushroom arrows, all while heavy metal blares in your eardrums like a mosh pit that has been made into an entire anime. Despite the setting being as if Miyazaki snorted a line with H.R. Geiger, the story is excellently paced, flowing smoothly beat to beat. And I damn well hope it does, with Cowboy Bebop and Perfect Blue assistant writer Sadayuki Moto helming the script. Oh, you thought this anime was made by nobodies? Yeah, Studio Oz is a newly formed animation house created from a hodgepodge of veterans and most notably fake key animator Atsushi Ikaria. And while Bisco doesn't look like the concentrated sex carnival that you would expect from his previous work at Ufotable, it still has a unique flair all its own. CG is abundant, but in the desolate wasteland of the anime, they provide an odd sense of style that honestly made it all the more appealing for me. There were multiple instances in the trailer with high-octane Sakuga goodness that I hope make it into the actual anime, but my guard is up because I've been catfished before. From what we do see though, Sakabui Bisco has built a set of grounded characters that make me all giddy for the adventures to follow. Milo is a seedy back alley doctor with the disposition of a golden retriever and stands foil to Bisco, who's, you know, a literal terrorist. The cast surrounding them is small but endearing. I especially like Kurokawa, the mobster mayor who commands an army of Hotline Miami characters. It's not a groundbreaking, underrated adaptation that excites me the same way that Ranking of Kings did, but I always appreciate a high-concept adventure that makes me wonder if I've yet to come down off all those edibles, so I'll be watching Sakabui Bisco, and I can give it the old recommend. Just like I recommend you check out this video's sponsor, nothing. I already told you all I got nobody. But that's not actually true because I got all of you swell fellows because the channel has exploded in the past couple weeks, so thank all of you. Now give me your damn money. I've got a Patreon linked in the description, and I would appreciate if y'all could help me out because I have some great projects on the way, including the big 90-minute Danganronpa takedown video when I hit 50 patrons. Other than that, join the Discord so y'all can call my taste trash in real time, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.